Travis, the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you another Wheel of Coasters. This is my fourth one already, and this time I'm doing a cool video here. And you may notice that these are all aerodynamics roller coasters. Most of these are custom looping coasters or coasters that go upside down. Some of these are hyper coasters, mine trains, 4D coasters, and one of these coasters was before an aerodynamics coaster that went upside down, but then it was renovated, so which means it's smoother. So you might know what coasters I'm talking about. These are all coasters made by Aerodynamics, and I'm going to spin the wheel 10 times or 8 times, depends on, I'll spin it 10 times and see what my coaster collection is. Let's get started. And we get Gold Rusher at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This coaster is pretty small, and it's not considered a good ride, really. It's not that popular. It's, not that great of a ride. Now we're on our second spin. And we get Corkscrew at Michigan's Adventure. I rode this coaster before, and it was very rough. I got headbanging the whole time when I was on it. From the second you leave the lift hill, you just get head bashing all over the place, all the way until the end of the ride. And that really does stink for this coaster. And if Corkscrew Michigan's Adventure was glossy smooth, it would definitely be one of the best coasters at Michigan's Adventure, but it is not. Yes. And we get Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood, another Aerodynamics custom looper or looping coaster. And it's located at Dollywood. It's the best of its kind. When it comes to custom loopers, I consider it the best one. Loch Ness Monster's close up there. And we're on our next spin. And we get Magnum XL 200, the first coaster over 200 feet. I've heard a strategy from Coaster Stream. I thank him for the strategy when I went to Cedar Point, that if you sit in the middle row of any car, you'll have a pretty good ride on Magnum. The first time I rode it, it was pretty bad and brutal, really rough. The second and third time I rode Magnum, I really enjoyed the ride, and it had some great airtime towards the end of the ride with those triangular hills. Yeah, those triangular hills are kind of painful, so yeah. We're on our next spin. And we get Viper at Darien Lake. I don't really know too much about this coaster. I know it's the first coaster to feature 5 inversions, which is in the middle right now. Currently, 5 or 4 inversions is like the average amount of inversions the standard looping coaster would have. Below average is 3, 2, or 1. High average is 6. Like, the Smiler has the most inversions out of any coaster in the world with 14, but let's spin again. And we get Corkscrew at Michigan's Adventure again, but we already got it. Let's spin again. And we get Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. It's considered one of the best Aerodynamics custom loopers. It's a very fun ride. I really like Loch Ness Monster. It's smooth for an Aerodynamics coaster, and I really like Loch Ness Monster. It has, the 2 loops are fun. It has a nice helix going through a tunnel, and overall Loch Ness Monster is very fun and definitely one of the best coasters built in the 1970s. And we get Gold Rusher again at Six Flags Magic Mountain. We already got it. Let's spin again. And we get another coaster called Viper. It's called Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This coaster is one of the few Aerodynamics Mega Loopers. It's the only one left. The other two are now defunct. Shockwave at Six Flags Great America, formerly there. And the Great American Scream Machine, it was at Six Flags Great Adventure. Yeah, I've heard bad things about Shockwave, good things. It's kind of like a mixed reactions type coaster, kind of like the Boss at Six Flags St. Louis. Some people like Shockwave and like it better than Superman Ultimate Flight, and a lot of people love Superman compared to Shockwave. Oh yeah. And we're on our next spin. We have 3 spins left. And we get Anaconda at King's Dominion. I've heard reactions that this coaster is very rough and not that good, so I'm not happy to have this coaster in this collection, but overall I think this is a pretty good collection. I got a good big 3, Loch Ness Monster, Magnum, and Tennessee Tornado, but most of these coasters here are kind of bad. And we get Corkscrew at Michigan's Adventure for the 3rd time. And we get Corkscrew at Michigan's Adventure for the 4th time. For the 4th time we have got it. And we have 8 coasters. Come on, we need to get anything. Okay, we get Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. This is, I consider it better than Skyrush. I rode Skyrush like 2 years ago in 2014, and I don't really remember my experience. That's why I'm not a fan of Skyrush, is because I don't remember my experience. But I've heard good things about Skyrush. But I think Phantom's Revenge is the better ride. And we get our final coaster and the only aero suspended coaster, which is our first, Ninja at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is the only other aerodynamic suspended coaster I have not ridden in the United States. And so far, overall, I think this is a pretty good collection of coasters. Ninja, one of the best suspended coasters out there. Phantom's Revenge, I consider it one of the best coasters in the world, possibly, as it has some amazing ejector airtime. The second drop is bigger than the first, and it has a very strong layout. Anaconda, kind of a brutal ride. It's pretty rough. It does have the double corkscrew and a sidewinder element and a vertical loop, so the inversions seem fine, but the rest of the ride probably kind of stinks. I got Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I've heard many bad things about Viper at Magic Mountain. Even though it has 7 inversions, which is a good thing, it's very rough. Loch Ness Monster, on the other hand, is below average when it comes to inversions, but it's one of the best custom loopers out there. Viper at Darien Lake, I've never really talked about this coaster or Darien Lake really on this channel. It's the first coaster to feature 5 inversions. Not a bad ride at all, at least from what I heard or researched. Magnum XL200, from riding it, if you sit in the middle row of any car, you'll have a good ride on it. It's a pretty good hyper coaster. I mean, it could be better, it could be worse. Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood, one of the best sit-down looping coasters in the world, in my opinion. It's just right there behind Kumba, Dragon Con. All these B&M sit-down loopers are even better than Tennessee Tornado, but Tennessee Tornado, wow. Corkscrew Michigan's Adventure, I get it. It's a corkscrew model. It's pretty rough and not that enjoyable. Same thing with Gold Rusher. It's a mine train. It isn't that great. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.